That famous song about unity, about coming together at the beginning of the year and at the end of the year. Auld Lang Syne, attributed to Robert Burns. Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and days of Auld Lang Syne? For Auld Lang Syne, my dear, for Auld Lang Syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet for Auld Lang Syne. So I play and sing this for my friends, to my friends, past and present, parents, siblings, acquaintances, lovers, people that have come and gone in my life who I never think about, from school days, adulthood, and, of course, enemies as well. It's bound to be some. After I've sung it, if you wish to continue listening, I'm going to read a description about it found on the internet. I haven't read it all, but I thought I would. Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and days of Auld Lang Syne? For Auld Lang Syne, my dear, for Auld Lang Syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet for Auld Lang Syne. For Auld Lang Syne, my dear, for Auld Lang Syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet for Auld Lang Syne. So found on the internet, New Year's Eve is full of traditions that are easy to understand, counting down the seconds until the day the calendar changes, for example. Others are a little less straightforward. Case in point, singing Auld Lang Syne, or at least humming along while it plays on TV in the background. Don't blame yourself if you don't know the lyrics despite the song making the rounds every year. The words Auld Lang Syne literally means old long since, though in practice it means old times, especially times fondly remembered, as well as an old or long friendship. It's from the Scots language, and the expression was first recorded in 1660 to 1680. But why do millions of people sing it on New Year's Eve every year? It all started with Robert Burns, the national poet of Scotland. When was Auld Lang Syne written? Burns wrote his Auld Lang Syne version, the one that we've all come to know, or at least kind of know, in 1788, and published it in 1796. Since the first known recording of the expression came about more than a century earlier, it's clear it wasn't an entirely new concept. Gather the wee bairns and take a peek at her list of 15 Scottish words, perfect for celebrating old times and new. Don't know where those are. That didn't come out. Burns may get the credit for Auld Lang Syne, but no one knows who actually first wrote the poem. Burns himself didn't claim the ditty. Instead, he said he took a fragment of a folk song that he had heard and built more lyrics around it. It's believed that the chorus and first stanza came from elsewhere, while the rest is a Burns original. The chorus and first stanza, of course, are the bits that people typically know if they know any lyrics at all. Sorry, Rob. Why is Auld Lang Syne a New Year's Eve song? The final day of the year is an apt time for looking back at the days past. That makes the theme and gist of Auld Lang Syne ripe for seasonal use, since that doesn't fully explain why a centuries-old Scottish folk song became such a New Year's Eve hit in America. One of the reasons that Auld Lang Syne made it into New Year's Eve lore is because of mass media. A popular New Year's Eve broadcast on radio and then television, hosted by Guy Lombardo and his band, the Royal Canadians, ran from 1929 to 1976. Lombardo came to be known as Mr. New Year's Eve because of the broadcast. Mr. New Year's Eve himself is responsible for pushing Auld Lang Syne to the masses year after year on his annual show. If anything can make an 18th century Scottish song popular in the modern era, it's the power of television. What do the lyrics mean? Now that you know what the titular words mean and how it came about, what about the rest of the lyrics? You might as well know when the most popular lyrics mean, what the most popular lyrics mean, if you're going to sing the song before starting the new year. Auld Lang Syne is a relatively lengthy song in its entirety, but typically only the first verse and the chorus make the cut for New Year's Eve celebrations. The first lyrics, should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind, is a rhetorical question of whether we should forget about our old friends, which is not recommended. It goes on to talk about reminiscing for Auld Lang Syne or for fond memories of old times. The lyric, "We'll take a cup of kindness yet," refers to raising a glass, while "and surely ye'll be your pint stoup, and surely I'll be mine," is another drinking line that means, "and surely you'll have your pint tankard, and surely I'll have mine." Because these lyrics do resemble English words, it can come as a shock to many casual singers that the rest of the song does not seem equally familiar. Burns writes about running about the braes, which are hills, and pud the goans fine, which means pulled the daisies fine. The lyrics pedalled, either burn, frae morning sun till dine, but seas between us braid a road, mean that the singer has paddled in the stream from the morning until dinner, and the broad seas have roared between us. This is a reference to friends that were once close, but now are far. Finally, Burns writes, "There's a hand, my trusty fire, and gies a hand o' thine, and will tak her right guid willie wrought." This means the singer is giving his hand to his trusty friend, and the friend does the same. Then the references to alcohol come back as they drink a goodwill drink to the days past. Careful with those tankards now. This list of synonyms for drunkard might come in handy on New Year's Eve. If you understand it that far through, you'll likely be in better shape than your companions come next New Year's Eve. For the ambitious, however. Here are the full lyrics of Auld Lang Syne. Should old acquaintance be forgotten, never brought to mind, should old acquaintance be forgotten, Auld Lang Syne. For Auld Lang Syne, my Joe, and Auld Lang Syne will take a cup of kindness yet for Auld Lang Syne. And surely you'll be your pint stop, and surely I'll be mine, and we'll tack a cup of kindness yet for Auld Lang Syne. We twa hae run about the braes and put the goings fine, but we've wandered mony a weary foot sin Auld Lang Syne. We twa hae paddled the burn frae morning sun till dine, the seas between us braid hair road sin Auld Lang Syne. And there's a hand, my trusty fire, and gie a hand o' thine, and we'll take a right geared wheelie wort for Auld Lang Syne. Should Auld Lang acquaintance be forgot, and never brought to mind, should old acquaintance be forgot, and long, long ago. And for long, long ago, my dear, for long, long ago, we'll take a cup of kindness yet for long, long ago. And surely you'll buy your pint jug, and surely I'll buy mine, and we'll take a cup of kindness yet for long, long ago. And we'll take a right good willy wort for Auld Lang Syne. We too have run about the hills and pulled the daisies fine, but we've wandered many's the weary foot since long, long ago. And there's a hand, my trusty friend, and give us a hand of yours, and we'll take a deep draught of goodwill for long, long ago. Well, there we are. Once more.